I've recently come to the realization that I have a lot of female friends that identify as bisexual. Now, they all have boyfriends, but they identify as bisexual. And before I continue, I have no issues with the LGBTQ community. I don't. It's nobody's place to tell who you can and can't love. But I do have an issue with the term bisexual. Just a term, and it's not for the reason that you may think. See, I have an issue with the term bisexual because I believe it to be a very unfair and unequal term. And I'll explain. See, nowadays when a female comes out as bisexual, nobody really cares. It's almost treated as, well, good for you. Who isn't? Because admittedly, especially amongst the younger generations, being bi has become a bit of a fad. But it's not the same vice versa, is it? There's not a lot of bisexual men that get the same treatment as bisexual females. And that's because a female can come out and say, I like penis and I like vagina. And the general response is, good for you. You go, girl. You reclaim your sexuality. It's not the same vice versa. Guy comes out and says, I like penis and I like vagina. General response is, nah, homie, you're gay. Because there is no real middle ground for guys in the liking of penis. You either like penis or you don't. And I'm not saying that's how it's supposed to be. I just never understood why this discrepancy existed. Until recently. See, while I was watching porn, where admittedly I do some of my best thinking, I realized that the answer was in front of me the entire time. And I can explain it to you all in one word. Threesome. That's right, threesome. Now follow me on this. There's not a lot of heterosexual men that have an issue with a bisexual female, because whether they admit it or not, there is this internal thought of, well, if she's already into chicks, that means I'm that much closer to getting a threesome with two chicks. And this is important to note, because practically every guy has a checklist involving sex, a sex list, if you will. These are things we want to accomplish in our sexual history before we die. And usually, in the top 10, if not 5 or 3, threesome, or sex with more than one woman at the same time, is usually located. So bisexual female is not only thought of as cool to us, it's awesome. But it's not the same with a heterosexual female, is there? There's not a lot of heterosexual females looking at a bisexual guy thinking, well, he already likes cock, because I'm that much closer to getting a threesome with two guys. It's not the same. And if we look at it a little closer, when I say threesome, I guarantee the majority of you think 2 girls, 1 guy, because that's what we're programmed to think. Do a porn search. You put in threesome, you might find 2 guys, 1 girl, maybe 1 out of 100. But if that's the thing that you're into, you have to look under a completely different word. And what word is that? Double teamed. How derogatory of a term is double team in comparison to threesome? Now think about it. Guy goes to his guy friends, he's like, hey man, just finished having a threesome with Tiffany and Sarah. My man, he's getting high fives, being bought drinks, he's treated like a king, like effing royalty. But if a girl goes to her girlfriend, it's like, hey girl, just finished getting double teamed by Don and Tony, high five. No. She's not getting high fives or anything, she's treated like a whore, like a slut. Shame. It's not equal, and this is where the discrepancy in bisexuality exists. So I don't call my female friends that are bi. No. I call them greedy. Because if they can go out with me and finger bang a chick next to me while their boyfriend's at home and simply say, it's okay, my boyfriend doesn't care, what am I supposed to say? No shit, I don't care, and I'm sitting here in Blue Ball Express. Nothing. So you know what? Until the day comes that I can have a cock in my mouth and not be considered gay, I gotta put my foot down against this whole injustice within the term of being bisexual. Thank you. My name's